learned to an election. Live in the hills, but I still get a spread. Started with a little, but I still reinvest it. Fear how I feel, then you feel like a blessing. I just want the lesson, I just want protection. I'm up and I'm down, but they sound like progression. Farmer never plans if he waits for perfection. Finger to the down, hold it down, we gon' get it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I got your Watchlist coming into July 21st, 2020, and I got two stocks that are going to surprise tomorrow after their earnings. So I want to go over those plays. We're going to go over what happened here in the market today. Not too much, but something interesting. If you guys have been watching along with some of these theories, something happened. We're waiting here for earnings. I think it is very important. We have a lot of earnings both tomorrow morning, so there's going to be continuations. We saw IBM after hours. That was important as well, but what we're going to get in the morning is going to be important, but mostly the two stocks afterwards, and then after tomorrow, it really starts to get rolling. Again, not as many companies that are going to come out as next week, but we're starting to get some important data. So I got that, other things to watch out for just in case that can move the market. And then I got the plays for you. So I hope you are ready. It's going to be exciting, but let us not delay. You guys know what you need to do. Drop your thumbs up on the video. Make sure you're subscribed. And if you don't know, we are live Monday through Friday, 30 minutes before open. It's the first link in the description and it is pinned in the comments. We better see you there in the morning. It's free $99. It costs you nothing to join. YouTube.com/thestockmarket. You can post the plays, see the plays, watch the watch list come to life. You can find a group of people who would love to reminisce on the soundtrack from Need for Speed Underground 2 and a bunch of riders of the storm on this. I don't know. And the most important thing you need to do, post your watches below. Let us know what you're looking at. Got any plays, comments, remixes, anything, post them below and source that info. We did the random play today. It ended up being SPCE. So we did that. Shout out to everybody who participated and who post them below. And remember, for earnings season, this comment section is very, very key. Post any plays. I can overlook a lot of things. I get focused. I'm going to highlight some companies that are big movers for you guys. But if you guys know anything, you see anything, source that information. We have a lot of eyeballs. We sourced information, so shout out all the people doing that. Love you. But right off the bat, the first thing is today was kind of quiet. I guess I'll start back to the screen so you guys could see the real main thing we were driven up by. The AstraZeneca news came out today. It was a little watered down, but there was a lot of upgrades. But now what you saw today was that tech had a lot of upgrades. So a lot of the tech companies, even Amazon especially, they got upgraded, but you saw this own little earnings wave we'll talk about. But the key was tech was the leader. NASDAQ was up. Dow barely unchanged. The small caps still closed red, but the S&P started to go up now this time as well too. So what we talked about the other day here is the VIX. Now you saw the VIX drop a lot, but this is what I was waiting for. Like I said, we're watching for volatility, but if the VIX starts to drop below here, it's not like it's going to get pinned here because this is that 100-day low. It should go a lot lower. So if this starts to fall through, you could kind of even see when things started to really pop off, this could start to really get bullish. So it makes me even kind of hesitant, honestly, because I'm like, how good could these earnings be? But we got a little bit from IBM. We saw some stuff today. So there's still stuff on the table, but that was something that really caught my attention today. But now more so, it was quiet because it was big for tech. There was all those upgrades, but the AstraZeneca news, the vaccine, all that stuff, it was really, really just not as hot as expected. It didn't have the same mania that we were looking for that we saw in the last few days with some of these stocks. And again, you also saw a big downgrade on Myrna, which kind of acted as a good buffer. We got clapped, even though we're still in those plays, they're up a lot, but Myrna dropped a little bit. Same thing even with AstraZeneca, then it kind of came back up towards the end of the day, but it was really clear that the market really just wants the earnings. So that's a point we'll talk about, but now coming into earnings, this isn't the comprehensive list. Again, I said I'm going to be documenting these all for you guys as we move forward into these, but if you know any companies, post them below. But tomorrow, the big companies I'm looking for, you're going to get some banks, you're going to get some bigger companies, but Coca-Cola and Lockheed in the morning, they usually don't move too much. Again, the theme of this quarter and where we're at with everything, there could potentially be some very, very big surprises. So if any of these companies really do surprise, they are going to be very good continuation. So we will see. IBM, if you were there after hours, they priced in a lot for its move. So it's like contracts are expensive right now, but stocks can still surprise. So it's one, waiting for the data, equal and opposite reactions that could actually move the stock, and then making sure that there's good options on the option change and not paying too much premium. So I like Coca-Cola. I like Lockheed Martin. Then after hours, these are going to be your two stocks. Snap and Texas, I think, are going to go crazy. So we'll talk about this when we do get into the plays, but those are going to be big movers tomorrow. Those are after hours. Then you're also going to get UAL. I think they can move. I usually don't play them. And then iRobot and ISRG. I really like ISRG on that one as well. But these are companies I think can move big. I think there's a few others. If you guys think any other ones, post them below. But watch these companies. Again, I'm not saying all of these have to pop off, but these are usually ones that both affect the market and potentially can move big, or usually not really the stocks move big, but the option chains do them. So watch them, use this educational purposes. None of this is a recommendation, but actually though, watch them, and that's why I'm pointing them out. But there's that. You're also going to get Biogen and TMO in the morning. This caught my eye too, because a lot of the biotechs, if they report, again, Biogen and TMO are both virus related, so maybe they announce something from the earnings. I mean, it would be a good time, so we'll see, but watch those. You won't be able to play them, or no, excuse me, those are Wednesday morning. So that's why I'm bringing them up here, because we could buy these tomorrow and then they report on Wednesday. So I'm actually going to be looking into that, or Tuesday morning. Man, what am I saying? So watch those. And then finally, as far as everything else, I would watch for potential spending bills with the stimulus and anything of that to move the market. But as of now, it looks like the market really just wants this data from earnings. They want to see if there's winners and losers. A lot of people are talking about this. Again, the fact that a lot of the banks today upgraded some of these tech names, and now you have some people like Jim Cramer, just like, how can it go higher? And again, look at the VIX, then look at the sentiment. This is going to be a very, very good earnings, because now you're literally getting even Wall Street opinions really, really pulling. And the further the expectations on one end or the other, usually the bigger the move. So keep that in mind. But that is pretty much it. I'm going to go over IBM because they report in, and it gives us some key points to note for earnings. But that is pretty much as far as that. So let us get into the plays. So right off the bat, we will go over the plays. I told you the two stocks, Texas Instruments and Snap, but the key factors to note from IBM, it was pricing in $6. It ended there. So they made a big move. This is another point to just keep in mind for how Wall Street is reacting to the estimates this quarter. IBM beat very, very big, although historical revenue has declined, and that's been the theme for them over the last few quarters. The estimates from Wall Street were so low that IBM smashed it. They did good in their cloud business. That has been a winner in a lot of this. The cloud businesses, again, work from home, all this stuff, but they also purchased Red Hat recently as well too. So those were key points. But what I'm saying is that the option chain was pricing in this movement. So although it surprised, and even though the estimates were, low, they didn't give guidance. They didn't give guidance before. They didn't really know, but Wall Street didn't expect much. It reacted. It went up. But notice, this is what I pointed out after hours, these contracts are still kind of expensive. This was still kind of priced in. So it's right by our sweet spot. I mean, these should be decent in the morning, but we will ultimately see. But this is letting us know how Wall Street is reacting, and is there an opportunity to take advantage of options, or is this going to really be a cuck season? So IBM is showing us something, so keep that in mind. But now to the rest of the plays. The first one right off the bat, Texas Instruments. We talked about this yesterday. I will show you guys that option because I did play it. The premium was decent this morning, and it was still kind of holding up good with the market. So we took advantage of the Texas, and then I was up on it a lot. It seems like we really did catch the earning run up on it because the contracts were somewhat cheap. But then it finally kind of took off today, hit 52-week highs. So it was nice. But now my idea with this, I already made it free. We'll go over that play. I want to hold the rest until earnings. It's like $400 or $500 market value. And then maybe just grab a cheap put, so make a strangle out of it. But we will see if it does ramp up. Why I'm saying we'll see, because if it ramps up into tomorrow and that $500 turns into like $1,000, $2,000, I might trim that position, or we'll see how I feel or the pricing of the puts. But most likely, if it has a second earnings run up the day of earnings, I'll most likely trim the position. But if the values kind of cuck or go down, I'm just going to hold that position and maybe consider puts for tomorrow and then hold it through earnings and see what happens. But I think Texas could surprise. One, it's just in general, they move a lot. They're pricing in about 4 to 8%. People have said that's the average move, and it's kind of weird because they don't move a lot, but they can move a lot. So this is still like a 30% bottom from the last 100 days. But you can kind of see they're a chip maker. They haven't really had a multi-year breakout in a long time like a lot of these other companies have. And why do I say that? Because that's like Texas Instruments, but take a look here at like AMD. You can kind of see what I'm talking about. Texas Instruments is like right there instead of being right here. Check Nvidia, same thing. Qualcomm, a little bit. Qualcomm could also be, and some people are talking the same thing, but Qualcomm is a different type of company, and I think Texas Instruments is relatable as well too. We've already seen Nvidia, but I like Nvidia. But this is the play. So you can see the order history here. I bought 15 in the morning. I got September 160. So at the time, I mean, a $30 move is about 20% after earnings, but at least it had time. So it's a little bit out there. Again, idea here is both if there's an earnings surprise, but also give us cushion to run up and sell in the earnings. But these were the 160s, and I got them at 40 cents. So you could kind of see here, and again, this may look crazy, but this is what I'm saying. We caught the earnings run up. Every single chart on the option chain, not just the one we bought, it looks like that. So there's a lot of activity on Texas Instruments because you could kind of see the main chart. You could see why the option chart looks like that. We got it in that first 9 minutes of the morning. I think we have a video on that first 9 minutes there. Yeah, 9:39. So like kind of into the bottom is at 133, but it made a 2% move coming into earnings. That's big considering in the morning it was pricing in about 4% earnings move, and it did 2% today. So it's still pricing in 4, so keep that in mind. But we got the 160 calls. I bought 15 of them at 45 cents, spent like $600-700. And then towards the end of the day, like about 2 hours before close, it was up a lot, kind of at what they're holding now. They're holding 86. They actually went up after I sold, but I sold back 10 of them. So I'm holding 5, but I sold them at 84, got my initial investment plus $200 profit. And then now I got 5 of these contracts that I'm holding. So this is what I said. If they keep going up tomorrow a lot and there's another earnings run up move, I will cut, maybe like hold 1 or 2 into earnings, depending on the value, and then maybe purchase a put. Or the other idea would be just buy a put so I could kind of get both ways if there is any sort of surprising event or big earnings. But that's the first play. I think they're going to surprise. The next one, this is going to disappoint you. I have to reiterate this. I have to make it clear. Snapchat. This is going to be a big one. And what I mean by that is that it's going to happen after. It's only big if certain pieces of information come out. So we like Snapchat. We've been watching this. This is in our long-term portfolio. We own a lot. The idea here is that if they give more signs towards this path to profitability, or things change, or they really did pivot, it could be very, very beneficial, but we have to know. So what I'm saying is, you saw Spotify, you saw some of these IPOs, and how a lot of these companies have been. You will have time. We just need to see what happens. So I might grab a smaller, longer term call play, just because you guys know how I'm trying to buy some of this for the long term and we haven't. So I might justify that, but I'm not really liking that idea, just because once I know this report, I will be able to make really key decisions moving forward, both long term or even with the options in general. But I wouldn't get FOMO'd on this, but understand it's big. And why I say don't get FOMO'd, we got to take it back to the option chain. So again, this is what we said. We made money on those Texas Instruments. So let me actually go back to those. Here are the 160s. I mean, take a look at 45 cents when I bought them. Do you see why I bought them? This is the 100-day chart. So even a few days ago, literally a few weeks ago, beginning of the month, they were trading for more money. They actually depreciated. You could see they're holding premium from where they were at. But the idea is, these contracts weren't, I wasn't buying them at the top end. But now go to Snapchat, go to some of these other companies that are reporting. It's a whole different story. I mean, I think these September contracts are new. Let's go to the October. See, we sold covered calls on these. These ones are insane. But you could see the longer term options, October, September, they're all holding up premium. So you're buying these all at the top end. You're paying, again, these same contracts holding up this price. We're going for 36 cents. Now, granted, Snapchat has made a big move, but you could see that you are paying really, really big premium. I guess these ones aren't as bad, but yeah, I guess you could kind of see them. But again, these contracts are newer based on the open interest. So, I mean, be careful with it. That's why I'm saying the play is once earnings comes out and now these expectations become grounded, the options will reflect that, and there will be a really good opportunity. Again, that's what happens with earnings. Don't think the market's that smart, okay? You got a lot of FOMO. You don't want to miss out on the play. But like I'm saying is that you got more time than you think to really react, especially if it is going to be a really good play. So those are the two I think are going to surprise. I like them. The other one I like is ISRG. I don't have a position in it. I will keep my eye on this one. I think they could be decent, but they're usually expensive, but they are a surpriser. Maybe even iRobot, the vacuum company, we'll see. But that is pretty much it as far as everything else. I mean, I'd watch Tesla, watch all of the biotechs like Myrna. We're still in Beyond. I'm clapped on that play. Down a lot on that one. We lost. Again, the Amazons got killed today. We've been really, really clapped on those. I even looked at my UUP. I'm down like 90%. I'm down like $8,700 on that. So there's some plays I'm still holding that either have time or earnings mode. Beyond, we got clapped on that. Those Myrnas and AstraZenecas, depending on when you took profit, those got clapped. Should have monitored those a little better today, but going to be writing those out. We have the Twitter plays. Those lost a little bit, but they're coming into earnings, so I'm going to be watching those. Holding everything else. Again, watch the chip make. Oh, I got rid of the other stocks on here, but pretty much Walmart, HD, again, some of those other plays that were in and just the value rotation. But I'm really going to be looking at the earnings plays, and if any of that other stuff comes up, watch TLT. Again, that VIX comparison I think is a little bit more important. That's why in the midst of all of this, you see how the bonds can't give us a signal, but the VIX has actually been more active in that. So you could see how we're kind of balancing between these. So I think this earnings is still going to be pivotal. You're seeing those expectations stretch and get widened. I think that's going to be an opportunity. So I hope you're ready, but that is your watch list, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you're hydrated, healthy, ready to go. Make sure you post your watch list. Make sure we see you there in the morning. I need the armor on. I need the helmet shining. I need you to understand what stage in your cycle you are at right now. And if you know the cycles, don't get too cocky if you're at the good part. Don't get too depressed if you're at the down part. You got to lean into the turn and get prepared, baby. The key is endurance. This is a long game. The market has been around for a long time. I've been trading for a long time, so this isn't 1 week, 1 month, 1 season, 1 year, anything. It's a long time. Get prepared, get focused. Don't force it. The cult loves you. I love you, and we'll see you in the morning. Let's go.